Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to Board Game Breakfast, a variety show about board games every Monday, for now. Okay, so, a couple things that we want to talk about here. First of all, a Happy New Year to everybody! Well, it's New Year's Eve still, but this is the last Board Game Breakfast of 2018. Next year we'll be back in 2019. Now, if you like our show, if you enjoy Board Game Breakfast, the reviews and the top 10s and everything we do, we're running a Kickstarter for the Dice Tower. That's going to start on January 21st. It's a little later than normal, but we have some things we need to get together for it. It's going to have some really cool stuff, but also if you enjoy our show, it's a way for you to help us continue to make it better. And oh my goodness, I got some cool ideas for this year, some new ways that we're going to improve. It's going to be an exciting year. We'll talk more about that as time gets closer. I'll be doing a live Q&A today at 10 a.m. And that's pretty much all the live stuff for today. We'll go back to our live top 10s that I've been doing each day, starting tomorrow on New Year's Day itself. But I'm hoping you had a great 2018, and whether you did have a great one or not, it's over, and it's time to move to a new year. But first, the news. Okay, so bird is the word at this point in time. Daily Magic has announced Songbirds. So after Wingspan, this is the second bird game I'm hearing for 2019. An area control game about placing birds down and controlling a 5x5 grid of an area. Greater Than Games. Two things from them. First of all, they bought Nevermore Games. I think I alluded to that last week. Nevermore is a smaller company. They made a Chicken Caesar and a few other games. I guess they have a Kickstarter they need to fulfill, and Greater Than Games will be doing that. Greater Than Games also has announced a new party game called Medium. So from what I can tell, there's two words, and you and someone else are looking at these two words and trying to think of a word that connects both of these words somehow. And then you go 1, 2, 3, and you both say it, and you're trying to say the same word. I'm assuming there's some more rules to it than that, but that sounds pretty cool. Let's see. Colossal has announced Ante-Up. This is an expansion for Western Legends. I guess we're actually playing this live next week. I know a little bit about it, and I can't wait to see it because I really like Western Legends. Deepwater Gaming is bringing Claim to North America. This is a small game. As you can see, it has Dice Tower Seal of Excellence. I think Sam reviewed this one. I have not played it yet, or Z did, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. WizKids has announced more Warhammer 40,000 Dice Masters. The Fracture of Bealton, the Blood Angels and Dark Angels, because why not have more Space Marines? Come on now. Why can't we have, the Necrons and that? Oh, it's just never going to happen. But more Dice Masters. I'm still surprised this game is trucking along here. Stronghold has announced a couple games, one of them being Aftershock. Now, I think we've heard about Aftershock before. This is a collaboration. I want to say that this was announced at the Dice Tower live show at Gen Con. This is a collaboration between Alan Moon and Bobby West, who actually have several games that they're working on together. This is Bobby West's first game, as far as I can tell. And this is after the earthquake has happened, dealing with that. This is actually going to be Kickstarted. And I talked to Stronghold about, them going to Kickstarter because they haven't done it much in the past. They did it one time for a miniatures game. But this is because they're now part of Indie Game Studios, and Indie Boards and Cards has done many Kickstarters. So you'll see a few games from Kickstarter, from Stronghold on Kickstarter in the future. So this is a really interesting thing here. Estro Games, there's a new edition of City of Spies, but it's called 2491 Planet Ship. So I guess it's like a sequel, a 2.0. I really like City of Spies, and so I'm kind of anxious to see what this one looks like. Meeple Games, I'm sorry. And then Cosmos has announced a new series of adventure games here. So what these are, Phil Walker Harding is doing one of them. These are like an escape room style game, but there's a more narrative structure to it, heavy storyline to it. They're co-op, 1 to 4 players, and they're replayable. So this is not like their exit games. A slight difference there. The exit games are more based on puzzles. This is going to be more based on the story. That sounds interesting. They're pretty inexpensive from what I can tell, so I'm looking forward to trying these out. All right, well, that's the regular news. Kickstarter time!
Hello, fellow gamers. The new year's almost here, and you know what that means. We get to respectively force all of our family and friends to stay up all night playing games with us, with no judgment, and maybe a really nice day off afterwards. And we also are that much closer to all of our 2019 Kickstarter deliveries. So let's get started. Featured this week, we have Nocturian by Vesuvius Media. This is for 2 to 4 nobles looking to earn their emperor's favor by fulfilling dangerous quests within the land. Players will also be rolling dice and drafting them to gather the necessary resources to fulfill quests, summon beasts to fight your opponents, and to forge gear to protect yourself for about 40 to 60 minutes. Luckily, a pledge for this to get you into the noble houses will not cost you a dowry, but only $35. Next up, we have Kraken Attackin' by Titan Forge Games, which launches you into the high seas so you can attack pirate ships for that sweet, sweet booty, as you and 4 of your Kraken friends battle it out by placing tentacled cards below ships to bend them to your mercy. But beware, pirates will be defending these treasures, and sneaky Krakens could use ability cards to curse your game or even fight you for those sparkly treasures. You can pick up this adorable 15-minute party game that comes with a base cost of just $25. Now for expansions and reprints, we have Hobby Holder. Now, if you really enjoy painting miniatures, then these style of holders can really help ergonomically as well as with painting stability. These also are probably the most inexpensive ones I have seen on the market, with a base cost of $36 for 4 pieces. That gives you the same stability and versatility of the expensive wooden ones with the much lower price for the plastics. Thanks so much for joining me this week, guys. So if you liked any of the Kickstarters that you saw here today, then join me live on Fridays at noon Mountain Time. And we can talk about all these Kickstarters in depth, and you can join in on the conversation, because that is my favorite part, talking to all of you about these awesome Kickstarters. Other than that, have a safe and happy holiday, and I will see you guys all next week.
How to read a wargaming rulebook. On my YouTube channel, episodes 27 and 28, a friend of mine, Riccardo Mazzini, goes through this how to read a rulebook, and plus the guy is Italian, so he has an accent, so it sounds really nice, something like, ciao bella stasera, sotto le stelle. But he'll say it differently, and plus he's better looking than I am. First thing you do is choose a subject you're interested in. Don't choose aerial warfare if you're not into planes. If you're into tanks, get a tank warfare game. Now, the main difference between a Euro game and a war game is that a Euro game is mechanic driven, and a war game is content driven. The story is the thing. Panzer has a rulebook of 76 pages. Now you're gonna say, Dan, that's too much. Yeah, of course it's too much. That's why they break it down into the basic game and the advanced game. And the basic game is less than 20 pages. And in most of those pages, you get huge pictures and examples of play. And in the advanced rules of Panzer, the rules are modular, meaning you want to use grenades? Well, go to the grenade section, read that paragraph, and that's it. Plus, the majority of war games have player aids that you're gonna hardly ever refer to the rulebook ever again. What Ricardo says is, take out the game, play with it physically, and cheat. Now, cheating. In the sequence of play, if there's a section you don't understand, skip it, come back to it later. The game still goes on. There are many options in choosing a war game. You can do grand strategy war games where you invade Europe, or you can do tactical war games where you just break into a house. The majority of these publishers are going to make rule books accessible. If not, no one's going to understand it, no one's going to buy them, they're going to be out of business. So to recap, choose a topic you like, push the pieces around, skim through the rule book, omit stuff, come back to it later. And plus, the more war games you play, the more war games you play, and then your house looks like this. So people, above all, war games are fun. One day you could be Napoleon, the next day you could be Patton. So thanks for watching, and check out episodes 27 and 28 of No Enemies Here, where Ricardo speaks about this a little bit more eloquently than I do, and have a happy new year.
Hi, it's Stella from Meeple University. We usually do how to play, brief overview, playthrough, and vlog video on YouTube. Today, I'm going to talk about Happy Pigs, what I like about it, what I don't really like about it, coming up. Happy Pigs at its core is a simultaneous action selection game where you buy pigs, feed pigs, mate pigs, and eventually sell them to make profit. Players with the most money wins the game. The game starts in spring and then it goes to summer, autumn, and winter, where each season and each round has got a special event that will affect that game in that round. First thing that you do is you turn over the season card, and then each player will select an action separately, and then everyone turns over the card simultaneously and then take the actions. You can buy more fields in the sell action, for example, where you can fit more pigs in your farm. You can buy certain tools that is going to make your actions more powerful. You can sell pigs at the rate that's depending what size your pigs are. What I like about Happy Pigs is that it plays quick, it plays up to 6 people, and it has got a lot of interactions with other players. That part I really like. So it reminds me of PC games back when I used to play a lot of computer games, where you have a farm, you grow animals in your farm, you're trying to make money out of it. The things that I don't really particularly like about it, because it is a simultaneous action selection, and there are only certain actions per round, you can end up doing the same actions for your opponents, therefore could ruin the games because you don't do enough actions that round. Hopefully that helps you whether you want to play Happy Pigs. If you want to see more, we are Meeple University. I'm Stella on YouTube. Until next time.
Alright, so what's coming out for the Dice Tower this week? I'll be taking a look at a lot of different games. Rise to Nobility, Comanauts, Marvel Strike Team, Last Heroes, Spiky Dastards, Wingspan, of course, will probably be the most anticipated review I do this week. Subatomic, the new expansion for Smash Up. We'll also be doing I'll be doing my live top 10s throughout the week. I think I'm doing 2-player games, distinctive themes from this year, kids games. So I'll be taking a look at stuff like that. Also, we're going to be doing a 3-way top 10 anticipated games of 2019. And we'll be doing a back talk where we take a look at the top 10 anticipated games of 2018 that we said at the very beginning of 2018 and see what we think about those or if they even came out. So that's all coming from the Dice Hour this week. Of course, we'll be doing our podcast is showing up tomorrow. Eric and I are talking about the best games of 2014, which is 5 years ago. Well, from tomorrow, since tomorrow's 2019, it's still 2018. But anyhow, that was an interesting show to record. I think you'll enjoy that. And of course, lots of other podcasts on the Dice Tower Network, and you can find all those at dicetowernetwork.com.
Hey folks, this is Jonathan for Harsh Opinion. Yes, I'm back after a few weeks away, and today's topic is going to be production problems. You know, when you buy a game, sometimes you find out that inside the games, either the components, the rules, or the graphic design is not up to today's standard. So I'm going to show you 3 examples of recent games that you're going to be able to buy for yourself, either early 2019 or at the end of 2018. So let me show you those 3 examples. The first one is Carpe Diem from Stefan Fell and Alia. You see in the game, Richard Ham already talked about that in one of his videos there, but you see 2 different buildings with almost the same color. One is brown and the other one is dark yellow. When you don't have the right lighting, that can be a problem. Not only that, some tiles are used during the games and the other tiles are used at in the last round. And how you can know which one it is? By the back of those tiles. You see, we get green and a little bit darker green. Why? Just put the back of one tile gray or another colors. You never should have a problem to tell stuff apart because they decide to go with wrong colors. The second game, it's Beta Colonies, even from Rio Grande. Even the box feels cheap, but what feels cheap is those cards. Never, never, ever do cards with corners like that, because the card's gonna be in bad shape just after a few plays, and even those cards are not even real cards, they're cardboard cards. I had to punch them. They are thin like hell, and they're not great quality. Rio Grande is well known for not having the best quality in cards, but come on, that's really not nice to have inside a game. And the third one, it's the expansion for Dinosaur Island, that's called Dinosaur Island Total Liquid. You know, in the regular game you have meeples that's gonna go in your parks. You have regular ones and hooligans, and they had a few more inside the expansion because you can now play with 5 players. But the hooligans are not the same color. This, it's regular hooligans and hooligans from the expansion. How can you manage to get the wrong colors? I know those kind of colors are hard to reproduce after a while, but how they're so different? Just pick a color that matches them the best and use the same color over and over again. Each time somebody pulls out one of those meeples, I have to explain that's just a production issues, that's supposed to be the same color. So I find it weird that those stuff happens with today's game, with the high standard of today's game. So thank you for watching. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.
Randy and Ellen, we game together.
It's your turn.
Ooh.
Hey guys, I'm Randy.
Hey, I'm Ellen. Welcome to We Game Together. There's been a lot of talk about architects of the West Kingdom.
West Kingdom.
And we are going to get on the bandwagon and talk about it too, because we've been playing it a lot. And we've been playing it a lot because it's a pretty quick game, but there's a lot of meat to it.
Yeah, the turns are super quick, which is the nice thing. It's the downtime in between players is quite fast, especially if you know you're getting resources. A lot of times there's a 1 or 2 rounds where you're just everybody's getting resources.
Yeah, we kept being like, did you go already? He's like, yeah, I went like a minute ago.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I love that about it.
It's really good at higher player counts, like 4 or 5. We played it at 2 and it was, is that right? I wouldn't mind trying it with the computer bot player just to see how that goes. But 4 and 5 were our favorite player counts by far.
5 was awesome. 4 was really good, but 5, I don't know what it was. It was like, it was so good.
That extra little element of who to capture and when, and there's always something to be able to capture if you want.
Exactly. And I like it too because when it was just us 2 playing, we would like capture each other a lot, which is cool. That's part of the game. But when there's 5 people going on, you can be a little more sneaky and like get a lot of resources. There was one player who at the end of the game was just like bringing in gold because no one was really keeping an eye on how many people he had over there. It was really cool. Yep. It's a really cool game. I kept finding myself comparing it to Raiders, which is dumb because it's not Raiders.
Yeah.
It's not. It looks like it. Same art, obviously, but even the way that you do the worker placement is different too. So it's not really comparable. So stop it.
I wouldn't say it's all that comparable, no, but as far as that goes, I do like Raiders better.
I mean,
if
Raiders
you are going to compare
heart. If you're going to compare it, I don't know, Raiders.
I don't know. I think it. I don't often say this, but I think it actually needs an expansion just to do a couple of extra little things.
I think so.
It seems like it's fairly linear in how you're doing it. You know, you're primarily building, which is great, but it's gain resources, build, gain resources, build.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. It's good. Not my favorite.
It's good.
Not my favorite.
Like I said, higher player count for me is pretty necessary to play it. If it's just going to be us 2, I'm not going to reach for it. But it is fun. It's really fun. So I don't know. You decide. You go play it and you decide. How about that?
Let us know.
Let us know. All right, guys. Picture of the day. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Happy breakfast, everyone. I hope you had an amazing Christmas week and happy New Year's Eve / New Year's Day 2019, wherever you end up watching this. This time I'm going to talk to you about Keyforge 2018's hottest card game, at least. I think that's fair to say. Now, in terms of the gameplay, it's 2 people, one-on-one, playing cards, but not like other deck sort of combat-like games like Hearthstone or Magic, at least not from my experience. Hearthstone I enjoyed to a certain extent until it became, if you've paid more, you're going to beat me. It doesn't matter if we're the same skill, you've got an advantage. Now, Keyforge tries to get around that with the unique decks that you can't shuffle or put new cards into. You've got that set, it's always going to be that set. And then there's the chain system to hamper sort of overpowered decks in some way. Now, theme-wise, it's a little dodgy. After the quite nice artwork, which you kind of don't bother looking at when you're playing the cards, the theme really is non-existent. You are forging keys. Why are you forging keys other than the name of the game is Keyforge? Well, I don't really know, and to be really honest, I don't think anyone cares. There's nothing to draw you in theme-wise. It's all about the mechanics, and you know what? Theme aside, it's a great game, and it's kind of, to me at least, lived up to the hype. When I've got one of those unique decks, tearing it open, finding out what the cards are, exciting. Playing it, not necessarily knowing what your opponent's going to play, exciting. Knowing what your opponent's got and trying to work a plan around that, even better. And that's where the depth comes in. When you've played against someone's deck a couple of times and you can then work out what not to do, what to do. That's really interesting. And I can only see that getting better with time and more plays. Anyway, that's Keyforge. Have an amazing 2019. And I'm Oliver East, signing out.
Hi, Mike Delisio from Solomode Games. The last board game breakfast of 2018, very exciting. I agonized over this top solo games of 2018 list. I want to mention a couple of things quickly. Number one, some games that were clearly games of the year for me that have solo modes, but I didn't play them. I couldn't include them on this list. I'm talking about games like Cerebria, Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea, Smartphone Inc. Great games, they'll be on my top games of the year, but I didn't play them solo, so I couldn't include them. Number two, I'm a Cult of the New player, so some of these weren't played very often. I just state that up front. I've got to go quickly. I don't want Tom to scold me. At number 10, we've got Feudum, a big, audacious game. So heavy, though, that I can only play it a couple times a year, probably. Number 9 is a little bit of a cheat. The Tokyo series of games. 3 games with an amazing aesthetic. All of them can be played solo, and they're all terrific games. Number 8, Everdell, a beautiful worker placement / tableau building game with some incredible art, beautiful components, and a really nice solo mode. Number 7, The Reckoners, a dice chucker, cooperative game based on a series of novels by Brandon Sanderson. I got this at Gen Con and I've really enjoyed it. Number 6, The City of Kings, a huge Kickstarter game that looks like it should be an Ameritrash game, but really it's a puzzly Euro, very interesting game. Number 5, Robin Hood and the Merry Men, not elegant, clunky in places, but man, do I love the theme in this game. I think the theme shines through, and I think the solo mode is really well thought out and definitely a big component of this, why I like this so much. It's not just pasted on. Number 4, Australia. What an amazing Martin Wallace game. A mixture of trains and Cthulhu. Nuts. Number 3, Street Masters. A beat-em-up arcade-themed game with an incredibly versatile system that you can just see going on and on and on. Number 2, Dawn of Peacemakers. Love this game. Co-op, you're trying to keep 2 animal armies from going to complete and total war with each other by influencing them. And number 1, Architects of the West Kingdom. I adore Garfield games. I loved the North Sea series of games, and I can't wait to see where the rest of this series goes. There you go, my top 10 solo games of 2018. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.
Okay, so I've done a look back at 2018. You know, we've done gaming and stuff, but I want to take a look back at 2018 for the Dice Tower a little bit, and for myself personally, just talk a little bit about 2018. I don't usually get caught up in like we don't talk here a lot about what's going on in, you know, the world and news and stuff in 2018. I take more look at gaming And that's what I'm talking about here, and a microcosm of the Vasel family itself. For the Vasel family, it was an interesting year because we lost our first kid to college. So Melody went off to college. She's home right now, but that was it's an interesting new experience for me. I finished off my 19th year of marriage. Our 20th anniversary is coming up this coming May, so that's exciting. And so it's been a good year for the Vasel household. For the Dice Tower itself, it's been a really interesting year. A lot of changes have slowly come into the Dice Tower. As the year went by, we started focusing more on live stuff. We found we had to make the decision. We started the year trying to work with Twitch and things like that, and then Twitch came to us actually and wanted us to be more involved, but they demanded that if we streamed on Twitch, we streamed only on Twitch, which was tough because we have a big audience on YouTube. So I put a lot of research into it, put a lot of thought into it, and finally had to make the call to pick one over the other. For now, we picked YouTube, and it seems to have worked well. We decided to do our top 10 of all time live, and we had over 3,000 people watching, which was exciting. And even our top 10 of 2018, 2,000 people showed up for that. And those are nice numbers, and a lot of people coming to watch those. One thing that we did as the end of the year came by was I'm trying to move my live stuff to a consistent thing. We took the crowd surfing show and made that a live show where you can watch, and the different contributors watched along, and there was some commentary back and forth. We made our back talks live. Our top 10s are live. And I know that that's not good for everybody, but we're working on making things better. There's going to be glitches. There's going to be things that happen. When I look back, anytime we get new equipment, we have there's always a testing period, right? I remember the first time we got these mics and the way the mics worked. We got so much negative feedback on that, and we were tearing our hair out. Like, we got to get these mics to work right. And then we finally got them to work right. And then other things, streaming has always been, there's always these technical problems. But you guys have battered along through it with us, and the responses and the back and forth has been really well done. We tried some new things like our playthroughs of different games. We did some testing days where we tested board games out, and for the most part, that seemed to go over really well. And so, we tried some things that necessarily did not work super well, but a lot of things did do well. Dice Tower tonight has done extremely well, and we brought Crystal on board as a host for that, and so she was just fantastic. Crystal and Abby came on and did some of the 18XX and some of the heavier Euro game things on the show. And then there's, of course, a lot of just different changes. Now, there's going to be more changes in the future, and I'll talk about those as time goes by, but we're always striving to make things better. And there's a couple changes that we're doing in 2019 that I was basically testing near the end of 2018 to see where they went. But our live streaming and things have gotten better in that regard. I also want to mention Derek Porter. Derek Porter is leaving the Dice Tower, moving back to Colorado, his family, for various reasons, going back. Nothing bad with us. We're going to miss him a lot. But Derek has really elevated the Dice Tower. Now, he'll be replaced by Roy Kennedy, who, at the recording of this show, is now, not the recording, but at the airing of the show, is now here in Homestead, and we'll be starting that transition over the month of January. Derek is staying till the end, training Roy, which is great. I'm hoping for a really nice, smooth transition. Of course, there will be some bumps. Derek did a lot in the 2.5 years that he was with us, and so for Roy to learn all that in a couple weeks will be tough. But we really do miss Derek. Derek has done a fantastic job. He's done some silly editing stuff that, added some flair to the beginning. Really made my life easier, where I've been able to consistently put out 10, 12 reviews a week. And that's because Derek is there editing that stuff for me. And he also really helped up our live game. If you look at our live things that we did before Derek and where we are at now, and it's because of Derek. Not only that, but he trained all of us to help run these live things too, so that we can kind of do it on our own, or a little bit still. You can see when he's not there, I have some problems. But I just wanted to give a big shout out to him. We really appreciate all that Derek has done for the show. And I want you to be understanding for Roy as he comes in. These are big shoes for him to fill, and a lot going on. But I'm excited about 2019. I really am. I'm excited to see where the Dice Tower is going to go. I have some really cool ideas. There's some neat things that we're going to announce. Some of those we're not going to announce till halfway through 2019, but I can tell you right now a couple things that we will do in 2019. We will do another Dice Tower retreat because they went so very well, the Dice Tower retreats. I'm assuming our cruise will go really well, so we'll be doing another one of those. Dice Tower West is happening for the first time in 2019, so more around the corner. We're trying not to grow too fast and too much, but we are wanting to grow. We are wanting to do more for the hobby as a whole, and I appreciate you guys watching in 2018.
Welcome to the Tantrum House After Party. I'm Sarah Meadows.
I'm Melissa Dell.
I'm Kevin Dupp. Today we're looking at Tutor. We're looking at what we liked, what we hated, who won, and how. Tutor is a worker placement set collection game. Melissa, what did you like?
I like that the setup is so variable. All the tokens come out in a different order, and you can actually choose different cards for your goals, how you're going to score points, and what sort of extra actions you have in the game. So it's like a new puzzle every single time.
What did you not like about it, Kevin?
Well, a lot of times when we play, like we're reaching for things and all of a sudden like the hand gets knocked over. It's not terrible, but it is something like you are secretly showing what you have behind your screen, like the tokens you're collecting.
But the hands are pretty cool because the color of the rings and their placement determine certain actions you can take.
Yeah.
Yeah, something I thought as a little fiddly is remembering what all those actions are. You have a screen here to remind yourself, but sometimes I forget that I can do these bonus actions or upgraded actions on my turn. That's just something you need to remember in the game when you play.
I think at the beginning of the game it's easier because you only have a couple of rings, so you can only take one or two of those actions. But later in the game, when your hand is filled up, there is a lot of stuff you could do on your turn, and there could be a lot of maybe AP going on because like, oh, if I do that, I could get a ring, and then I could keep a card and things like that. But I like Melissa said, the variability. In the starting game, you are trying to collect sets of the same color tokens, and a lot of times I'm thinking, oh, I just want to go to the top, the top, the top. But sometimes you can move around the board and get some of those colors that you need to get some big points at the end of the game.
I think this has a little bit more take that than some of the other worker placements where you're almost playing a solo game with other people. So I think that brings an interesting twist to it.
So, who won?
I won!
Yes, and I got my ring stolen a couple times right there at the end.
Yeah, I was able to go up the tracks and steal some specific rings that I needed to advance my game. I think that really helped in this game. But other games could be totally different. So,
yeah, I was going to say that this is one of my top games of the year, one of my top 10s, because I really like all the strategy and what you're doing in it.
Yeah, Academy Games did a really good job on this Euro-style game. They're mainly known for their historic war strategy games, but they did a great job on this worker placement game. So if this sounds like something you would enjoy, check out Tutor from Academy Games.
So with New Year's Day rapidly approaching, I wrote 5 gaming New Year's resolutions. I'm going to reveal them live now. Sarah never heard these.
I haven't heard these.
Number 5. Go to my first board game convention.
Ooh, how much does that cost?
Mostly free, usually.
Okay.
So there's a chance we'll be going to Dice Tower West. Fingers crossed, we'll see. I'll for sure be going to Geekway to the West in St. Louis.
What will I be for sure?
In May. Caring for our children.
True. I'm gonna go get that child.
No new games until we played every game that we already own.
What? Walter? This means you might be able to go to college. Wow, that's a good one. I'm holding Dan to that. We all heard it out loud. Walter, what's your resolution? Is it to take better naps? Yeah.
Resolution number 3. This year, I would like to branch out and produce a bit more content.
I would love to do more, but it's just a matter of
So any of that new content, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to be shooting and editing.
I'll help you.
Resolution number 2. Find a space in our house we're currently working on to have as a game room. My number 1 resolution is no more kids. So resolution number 1, with the twins turning 2 this year, by the end of this year, I want us to start playing games as a unit of 5.
Wow, Walter's gonna crush us. Yeah.
Because let's be real, the only reason I had kids was to have future gaming.
Is it different than the game of life? Because I feel like we're playing that right now, and I can't tell who's winning yet.
Or Pursuit of Happiness.
All right, you guys, Happy New Year. Bye. Bye. Someone drink lots of champagne for me. Say bye.
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 See you next week. No, we're keeping these for record.
Hey guys, happy holidays. It's actually Christmas Day. Kids and wife are running around messing with their gifts and stuff, so I had a quick minute to record a video. Like I said last time, I want to do a quick top 5 games with the best art, at least in my opinion. So let's just jump right into it. So my number 5 game is a game called the Stonebound Saga. Now the reason why I picked this game is, again, it has a bunch of different artists on the game, but they seem to gel well. All the artists worked really well together, so it kind of looks like it's done by one artist. It's kind of seamless throughout the game. It's a you can play with more players, but it's really a one-on-one game. You have a bunch of different characters. I forget how many characters are in the game. Each character is unique and has its own card. But there are so many characters and the art is pretty amazing in this game. So that's my number 5. My number 4 is Orbis. And the reason why I picked it because the art style for it, it's kind of cartoony but has this realistic take on it. It's sort of like a painter's style. Just jumps out at me when it's laid on the table. The god tiles, the little land tiles, everything about this game is awesome to look at. So that's my number 4. My number 3 is Crystal Clans, and the reason why I picked this game is because all the different clans have their different art style, and Martin Abel just is incredible with this game. He just does a wonderful job showing off. For instance, if you look at the Flower Clan, you'll know that's the Flower Clan. If you see the Blood Clan, you'll know that's the Blood Clan. And again, I love the whole cartoon comic style, so this was a no-brainer for me. My number 2 game is Dice Throne Season 2, and Manny Tremblay is, I'm a big fan of his, so this had to be in the top. I know this is only a top 5 list, so it had to be top 2. I'm a big fan of his art, like I said, again, the cartoon, comic book feel, the different characters, the clean art style, the vibrant colors. This game was a no-brainer that was going to hit my top 5, for sure. And my number 1 game, people, it's Everdell. And the reason why I picked Everdell is because the presentation for everything in this game is fantastic. From the board to the art style, the cards, the buildings that you could construct, the art on everything in this game is amazing. And I know I keep saying amazing, incredible, but if there was a better, stronger word, I would probably use it. But from the critter cards that have the little creatures, incredible. The color choices, like I said, the building cards, you know, it's just incredible to see it all. It's just, I can't wait for the expansion to come out so I can get more of this. What can I say? I love putting this game on the table. I love the attention it brings. I know that the tree could be, people might say, a little gimmicky. I just love everything about it. So once this game hits the table, it's like, hey guys, check this out, because you're going to see some fantastic art, amazing gameplay, and I think the total presentation of this game is the reason why it's my number 1. That's all I got, guys. Listen, have a great holiday. Look forward to things to come in the new year. And 2019, let's get at it.
Hello, my name's Dan, this is Cora, and we're here today to talk to you about games for young children. And today, we're going to talk about this game. What is it, Cora?
A Kinder Shuffle.
A Kinder Shuffle. In a Kinder Shuffle, the players are trying to move all their coloured insects from their starting leaf onto their tree trunks. However, the insects aren't able to move themselves, and so have to catch a ride on a bunch of passing echidnas that are walking around the area for some reason. Anyway, and on your turn, you roll a dice to see how many times you can move an echidna. If you move one onto your starting leaf, then one of your bugs hops onto its back. And if you move one on with a bug on it into the same coloured tree trunk space, then it jumps off onto the trunk. The winner of the game is going to be the person who gets all their bugs onto the tree trunks first. The fun in Echidna Shuffle comes from the fact that you can't move an echidna into a space that's already occupied by another one. Therefore, you get into some really deliciously frustrating echidna traffic jams, often deviously designed by your scheming opponents. Another fantastic thing about this game is there's a wonderful dice mechanic that ensures that if you roll high on one turn, then the next you're automatically given a low number, and vice versa. If you roll low, then you're given a high number. And this allows luck to still play a part, but also means that the playing field is level and fair. So, Cora, what do you think about Echidna Shuffle?
It's pretty frustrating.
Pretty frustrating?
Because when you have like a move like 2, you're surrounded by them. And like, move this one there, move this one there. Ow! They move mad.
You can't get your echidnas out of the way, can you? And these echidnas, you probably can't see it in the video, but these echidnas are really nice quality. They're beautiful, kind of chunky, big bits, aren't they? The production value.
In the box, I have bits for the noses. I like their long noses.
Yeah. In the box, I've got an insert, and it fits in perfectly. The production values of this game is possibly the best I've seen in a kids' game. It's absolutely gorgeous. But this game is actually possibly my kids' game of the year. I really, really enjoy the abstract moving things around and having to shuffle them all about, don't you, to try and get your echidna there.
The thing that you probably don't like about it is that you have, like, if I was surrounded by them and you were like that, you would have to get that one out the way.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's way more there, like,
that's it.
Clear a path.
You're clearing a path all the time. So
and then you end up not being able to move.
Yes, that's true.
Because you spent all your time clearing a path.
Really rate this game. Highly recommended. Echidna Shuffle. Wonderful game. We give it 2 shuffling thumbs up.
Yeah.
And that's it for another Board Game Breakfast. Last hat of the year. Woo! Is it the last hat of the year? Well, if it isn't, if you don't watch it, Week in Review. If you don't see Week in Review, each week we put up a video called Week in Review where we post all the different reviews that we've done over the past week. We talk a short time about those. So check that out if you don't, because it kind of gives you a synopsis of all the different reviews we did that week. Well. This is it. 2019, here we come. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm going to go shoot some fireworks.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vasel and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production, sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., an amazing place to buy board games. Cool stuff in stock at coolstuffinc.com.